I want to show you these nifty little things, and pick these up at Lowe's, these wallboard drywall repair patches. You see you got a hole in the wall here. Honestly, the best thing to do, cut this out as a square, put back a piece of drywall, skim over it real tight. But if you're an average homeowner, you don't have tools, probably don't have the knowledge, so you can pick one of these things up. This is essentially kind of got an adhesive, self-adhesive like the mesh tape that you would get for drywall. Has a little aluminum reinforcement screen on it. You just take it out of the package, put it over the wall, the hole, rub it, get it nice and stuck and flat. And honestly, the best thing you could do, mix up some 5-minute mud, go over this, and that would set up really quick. But I'm at my house, don't really care, don't want to mix it up. So I've got the bucket mud, which dries by evaporation. So it's also been in my trailer and it's been freezing, so it's not in the best of shape, but we'll try to work it and get some lumps out of it. All right. Start off a few inches, drag real tight across. All we're trying to do is set it at this point, trying to embed it in that mud. That's all we want to do, fill in that hole the best you can, because there's no reinforcement backing behind there. It will squeeze through. That's one of the reasons that I'm not a huge fan of these, is because you still have an open cavity behind there when you're done. But in a pinch, these are pretty awesome. I like to feather out all the way across on my edges. There's really no reason to leave this humped up. You're not going to get it on the first coat anyways, so you might as well pull it real nice and tight, and that way it'll be easier to reduce all the sanding you don't have to do later. All we're trying to do at this point is make sure you fill in the tape and get it good and embedded in there. Okay, so second coat time. A little larger knife, the good old blue steel 10-inch, 6-inch stainless steel, 10-inch blue steel. Pretty much mostly the only knives that I use. But first thing we want to do, give it a little good old scrape. Knocks down any high points that there may be. Isn't that easier than sanding? Get some mud on there. And we're going to come out a little bit more than we did last time. And we're going to come across. Now, a lot of people are probably like, why are you going out so far? Why are you not trying to just patch the area? Well, we've added that mesh tape, and now this wall is never going to be as flat as it would have been in the first place. So we need to go out further because we want to sand out here. We don't want to do a lot of sanding right here where the patch is, because if we do that, we're going to sand back down into that tape and mess it up. So we feather our patch out, float it out, whatever terminology you want to use, pretty wide. That way we can sand those edges and bend and blend the mud out. That's what a lot of people who don't really work with drywall a lot misunderstand, is that we are not sanding it back flat. We're using illusion. Illusion is 90% of drywall, making things disappear. These edges are going to be very hard to feather out because whatever this texture is god awful. It's like a mixture of heavy orange peel, really terribly done knockdown. I want to talk to you about the sanding. I'm not going to actually film that because that's stupid. Nobody wants to see me sand. First thing, protect yourself. Get you some eyewear. Get you an N95 mask. Protect your breathing. This dust is no joke. You don't want to breathe this. You don't want this going all over your house. You can even get you a shop vac with a good filter and a dust bag. Pick that up as you go along sanding. Might even need to get you a mammy cloth like I have if you got a do that you want to protect, because it does make your hair feel like straw. As for your tools, medium grit sanding block, 220 sandpaper, damp rag. I'm going to take the sanding block, get the whole area smoothed down. This is what you want to use in that original patch area. This is not aggressive enough to take that down to that tape where the tape starts to come back through. After you get that done, take your 220 sandpaper, wrap it around your sanding block. Want to go over this outside edge very aggressively and get that blended in with the sandpaper. This you're really wanting to take down on that outside edge. This is what you use that. Once you do that, take your damp cloth, You want to gently go around that edge. What that's going to do is it's going to really bring that mud down into that original texture, and it's really going to blend. That way when you spray your texture and you paint this, you don't have any kind of hard outline of this patch. So we're sanded down, blended out, ready for texture. Best way to do texture with a hopper gun, but I know most of you weekend warriors don't have one. So luckily, they make products for women now, like this texture in a can. This is knockdown, water-based. I recommend the oil-based. That's getting hard to come by, so this is what we're going to use. Not really worried about trying to match this. I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but we've got knockdown that was done okay, and you have some islands. You got knockdown that was done really way too quickly, and you got full-blown continents on the wall. There's some orange peel in some places. Pretty sure the finisher split boogers on the wall and called that good in some areas. So we're not worried about getting it perfect. We're just trying to get it covered up and going to make it look the best that I can. If it was a customer's house, I'd recommend skimming the whole room and starting over. But anyway, got this, got it a little warmed up. Keep it good and shook up. You can see that I've got it masked off here. And I went a little bit wider than what the patch is. That's because we want to blow past the patch. And after it's all dried and all been knocked down, we're going to come back again with that wet rag. We're going to blend those edges to get rid of these hard lines. Shake it up. I've got it set to the heaviest mode. That's really, on these cans, that's about the only way it really turns out okay. They also sell stencils to do knockdown. Do not try those suck. So we're going to blow in circular patterns. And we're going to try to keep the cans shaking as I go. Keep that stuff moving in there. On knockdown, get you a good base coat, shake up, make sure you're on your heaviest setting, get up a little bit closer, give it some good spritzes like that. Because what that's going to do is it's going to build up that texture in a big glob so you can actually you see that textured pattern when you knock it down. Make sure you get good coverage. You want to see very minimal of that mud underneath after you do this. But that's good. I got some good, pretty decent globs in there. We're going to wait a little bit, come back and we'll knock it down. All right, it's been setting for a few minutes. I can look at it and tell it's about ready to knock down. Want to make clear, this is not a knockdown knife. This is what the homeless guy cleans your windows with. And now they got the tap to pay on the phone, so you can't even be like, nah man, I ain't got cash. Ain't no way out of it. You gotta pay them. This is the magic trowel. Knockdown usually has this big, wide, like plastic looking, kind of like a paint shield that you use. That's what you would use if you're doing new knockdown texture. But the physics of this seems to work best for making patches look decent. So I'm not ashamed to say I do use this for my patchwork. You want to just start off the edge, drag it across really gently. Good tip, make sure this little blade is wet and keep it clean as you go. Press hard. Drag it across in a patch. Kind of want to make a couple of passes from different directions. Then after this dries out real good, we're going to come back with our rag, go around these tape lines, take off some of that texture so you don't have that really hard, stark line after you paint.